Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Skating Unfiltered. I think this is our third episode. Actually, I know it is. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. If you like it, please let us know some comments in the comment section. We have our Olympic shirts on. Jasmine has whose shirt on?
I have Corey Stoddard's.
And I have Kimmy Getz's shirt on. So we thought that would be appropriate since we're in the Olympic spirit this week. And we wish everybody well at the Winter Olympics.
This is the earliest I've gotten up to watch it.
Oh, yeah. They're getting up every morning like at 3:40 to watch it live. I'm lazy. I subscribe to the Amy Raynard spoiler alert.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I'm sorry. Thank you, Amy, for hooking us up.
I may have to do that when I go back up to college.
That's what I do because I got to go to work. But what we're going to talk about is a little bit different this time. We're going to talk about how change happens in our sport, where it comes from, how it comes from the local level up to the board, and how these changes happen, because a lot of people have asked us how these things happen. We have here the minutes from 2021, December 16th, the Speed Committee minutes, and we'll go over that. There's some other things, financial information as far as where the sport's going. I don't know if we'll get into that this time because we might not have enough time. So, Jabs, you want to add anything?
No. Probably just besides the fact that I know this past weekend there were a bunch of meets, and I heard that they all went really well. Like, we had our league meet for the Keystone, which we did the U.S. RSS track and the rules, and it went well. Of course, there's always things to work on, but it went well, being our second league meet in like 2 years.
Oh, yeah, skating's back. I mean, a lot of people are still reluctant maybe to skate, but we're trying to bring it back, and we're working on it. We had our second one. I think we're having our next one in March, and I think we're going up to Massachusetts. That's the rumor I've heard. But, so people ask, how does change happen? Well, we have a process in place that is in USA Roller Sports. The RSA and US RSS does it a little bit different, and I'll touch on that also. In USA Roller Sports, we have 8 regional reps that represent a region. They're supposed to have their finger on the pulse of the skaters, the parents, the coaches, and the rinks in their areas. And they're supposed to gather information, and they're supposed to meet on a regular basis. The regional rep have a president. Believe it is Sammy Johnson right now. Mm-hmm. And Sammy Johnson is supposed to be able to sit in on the speed committee meetings and offer input that he's getting from the local level. How it's supposed to go is the regional reps are supposed to meet. So they're supposed to get proposals from each region. They're supposed to have a vote in each region. It's supposed to be documented with a scribe and the votes of what the changes they want to take place. Mm-hmm. Those votes are gathered, and then they are presented. Usually, in the past, we did it at nationals, and the only reason I know is because I was the vice president of the regional reps for quite a long time, along with Joe Cotter being the president. And what happens is they talk about all the proposals, and they come up with the proposals they think they need to move on going forward. Those proposals are presented to the Speed Committee. The Speed Committee discuss those proposals, and then they have their own vote, and then that is presented to the board. Mm-hmm. Now, that's the way it has been for years. And now, every change that happens must go through the Finance Committee. If someone proposes that we want nationals to be free, that's a pretty good proposal, but that's not going to happen because that's not going to go through finance, and that's not going to be sustainable. So everything must go through finance, and then the board, the board now, because now the USOPC has defined that our sport should be committee driven. And I think that's a good thing. I don't know if we're ready for that yet, but it is a good thing long term. And also 33% of each committee, whether it's speed, art, hockey, slalom, derby, must have at least 33% representation from the athletes, which I also think is a good thing. We're going through a transition to get there. I think we're going to go through some learning pains. We've got to get some people in there that have a business sense and can answer the financial questions when we make these changes. So what does happen is that's how change takes place. The board in the past used to make the changes. The board now is relying on the speed committee, the committees, I should say, to come up with the changes to move the sport in a positive direction. Now, that means that those committees have to have a financial plan. Okay, so if you want to have outdoor nationals here, you want to have indoor nationals here, you need to put a business plan together that supports your idea. So it's not necessarily do you have to be profitable, but you should be. But we can't lose thousands and thousands of dollars because somebody wants to have something in a certain place where it may not be financially feasible. Now, there's one thing in place. It is Rule GR21, which also, and if you know me, I'm not a very big opponent of that. That allows the speed committee and the board to bypass this whole process. And I guess in some cases that may be warranted, maybe during COVID when people couldn't meet. But I believe in today's technology, that is a very lame excuse.
Zoom.
We got Zoom. You got conference calls. I mean, even at my job, we do.
Apple now is like you can have FaceTime with a bunch of people. You use one.
Yeah, there's no reason. My feeling is during this downtime of COVID, we had an opportunity to make major changes. And some people have said that, because of COVID, we couldn't do this. I'm sorry. I'm just not buying that. Because I can tell you from a corporate standpoint with my work, we made tons of changes during COVID that we would have never been able to make because we would have been out there just working and hustling. So that is kind of what happens. And then the speed committee has a meeting. And the latest one was on December 16th. The participants, the attendees, were Gypsy Lucas, Aaron Jackson, Kelly Springer, Mackenzie Brown, Tony Cabral, Caleb Wakefield, Megan Schuler, who is a non-voting person, Mary Almond, Jay Ingram, Deborah Alpers, and Patty Leisure. And they had an agenda. Their agenda was to discuss the 2021 World Championships. Number 2, establish race schedule for 2022. Camps and clinics, World Games. Alabama is not, and it says in parentheses, and I don't understand this, but it says Alabama is not interested in World Skate or USAR's help. And I think that is, and then also, why do we only have 2 entries? World Games is put on by the USOPC. It's very different. I think, Jasmine, you can explain the difference between World Games and all that, this difference.
What, between World Games and World Championships?
Yes, and and the other was that roller games?
So World Championships just in general, like it would be inline speed skating World Championships, it would just be us, our sport. Roller games is, I actually think it's coming up this year. Roller games is all the roller sports at the same time. So it's kind of like our mini roller sports Olympics in ways. All the roller sports are there. Derby, artistic, roller hockey, I think rink hockey too.
I think everything that falls under
anything that falls under
the
roller sports, that it will be there. And then World Games, which this is going to be new to me. It is most of the sports that aren't in the Olympics. So inline speed skating will be in it. There'll be artistic in it. I think they're like in the building next to us when we're at World Games, but that's all done by the U.S. OPC. Roller Games and World Championships is done by World Skate.
Okay. Also, they had World Games qualifier, 400-meter flat track nationals, Roller Games team selection, and international opportunities and other business. Now, we're not going to put a whole lot of time on the World Games selection because that's already basically happened.
It's already been selected. And I think the confusion was we qualified spots. In reality, we qualified ourselves in it. So before Worlds, we're told about reading all the rules because there are some rule changes going into World Championships all the time that you want to make sure you know. And in one, it was talking about the qualifications of the skater. So the skater qualifies themselves, not necessarily a spot. So it'd be 2 skaters for female, and then male. So it'd be 4 skaters total from each country. I think when they were talking about like why only 2 skaters is because before the host gets 3, and I don't know if it's a rule change. I don't know. It could be a rule change. I don't necessarily know, but this time it's 2 for everyone.
They also wanted to establish a race schedule, which I think is a great idea. And I'm not going to mention who suggested what but it's their speed committee. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So they want to have a race schedule so everybody knows when every race is and where it is.
There is also, I just put it up here, a website which is run by Vanessa and Michael, who are they're on the world team this past year. They have their website Skate Engine, which has almost all the events that are coming up, and they also sometimes post the results with those events so you can see. So like if I wanted to see my time from World Championships, I can go into this website and see what my time is.
And John Rogers is pretty good at, having all that stuff out there. Everybody goes out and put those races out there. So I think everybody knows, but I think what they were trying to do from a NGB standpoint to say what's going on. For instance, they're talking about committee discussing planning camps and clinics for 2021. Colorado and Florida clinics, which I'm glad that they're coming back. Hopefully we'll be able to get on these tracks, and hopefully you can attend. I am going to try to attend the one in Florida. I'm going to try to coach down there. It kind of depends on my knee operation and all that, see how that works.
I will most likely probably.
And we're going to try to go down there. They wanted to also, they're looking into Brian Piccolo Park. That's the track that seems like we had the most access to. I mean, people skate on all the time. Colorado's not that we don't have access. It's just a little harder with scheduling and everything like that.
Is the one in Colorado, who is it owned by?
My understanding is that we own the rights to the track. I think what happens is because of our situation, like for instance, they put the dome on there. Mm-hmm. I'm not certain how much we contributed to that dome.
What I'm saying is, who do we have to go through to be able to schedule? Is it the USOBC?
I think it's.
Owned by the city?
Well, I think it's I think the Olympic Committee we have to go through that and know that Kelly's out there, and I think he's probably our go-to person to. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that, but I think he's our go-to person if we wanted to, because he does. He has practices there. And all kinds of other things. So I would imagine that he would be the person. But I could be 100% wrong on that.
I don't know if you are, but continue.
I don't know. The other thing is there is going to be a clinic March 17th. They talked about that, a train camp in Brian Piccolo Park. I think it's been all over Mr. Rogers' page, all the USA Roll Sports pages. And you can definitely... if you want to go to that, some people say, well, I don't know if I want to go because I don't know where we're going to have the trials. You still got to get on that track. You still got to get on some kind of bank track, and so you know how to skate on it. Even if we have our qualifications are on a flat track, you are eventually going to have to be able to get on that track. So if you're on the world team, you plan on making the world team, I would suggest you go down there and give it a go.
It is going to be different. It is not the same track as.
It's not parabolic.
Yeah, it's not a parabolic track. What is it? Bowl shaped? I don't know.
No, it's not in bowl shape. It's just a complete.
That to me, I just call bowl shaped because it's not parabolic.
Bowl shape.
Yeah, it's not. The one at Worlds was parabolic, but it actually wasn't. I don't want to say it's like a steep. It didn't really have, like in Colorado, we have this thing called like a hump that we can use. It was not really there, but it was parabolic. So
now they did talk about World Game qualifiers for Alabama and some dates, but I think that's all a moot point now because I think the athletes are all been selected. Congratulations. They are Jasmine, Kelsey
Rogers,
Aiden.
James Sadler, and Michael Garcia.
I'm sorry.
Yes, the meeting, I believe, was before they announced the skaters that were going to be in it. We got the email, they sent an email out to each skater individually. And so that's how I got the news for it. And then we were all texting back and forth.
Now, they also talked about 400-meter flat track nationals. As everybody knows, this year was the first year we've done that. Actually, it was in Georgia. I think it went pretty well. We had some issues that we had to work out as coaches and people putting on the meet, but all in all, I personally, it would be very advantageous to have it on a bank track and a flat track. But given the circumstances and our lack of tracks, maybe the flat track may be our best bet for now because from a financial standpoint, because then we can put out bids for 400-meter tracks in the South all over the country. That's just my opinion from a business standpoint because I think that...
Not necessarily there either. You can do more bids anywhere. I mean, there's a track just like the one in Georgia in, Allentown or whatever it is?
No, I don't think there's one in Allentown.
There's one up there because they were talking about it the one time. It was a really nice track. Very smooth.
But I think that that's going to allow, So they have put the dates out for the trials, which is, depending on where you come from, people have their different... I don't know how you put the dates out without having a place. I think we do have a place in mind. I can't say we put those dates out without having something kind of in our back pocket somewhere.
What are the dates? It's like August 30th.
I think it's August 31st through September the 5th.
Yeah.
So I think
that's going to be hard.
Well, that may be hard for some people because of school, but last year it was about that time, and we were able to work through that. It was over. It wasn't that bad. I mean, I think that one thing that I do like about it is the fact that it's out there. So if you have educational issues or job issues, you can go in and say, listen, I need this time off, and you can negotiate. It's really hard to negotiate. The one thing that I will give credit to the speed committee is they got the dates out early. The one thing that used to really piss me off is the fact that they wait. And some of us have jobs. And we have to put our vacation in early. My boss would never not want me to be able to go, but when I can't tell him when it is, it doesn't make us look good. So the fact that they put those dates out there and hopefully hold to them, that makes it easy for a lot of people to have jobs that are in college, in high school, to get their schoolwork done early so they can work around that stuff. And I think that is a plus.
I mean, I think it's good. I miss having it in May, and then you have all summer to prepare, and let's say because the people that aren't in school, they have that whole summer to prepare for and to train with other people that aren't in school. So it had been one of the first times I made a team, I went to go train, I think it was Kelsey and I trained like a couple of times because we could do that. And I didn't have school. I can go down there. Like, she still at work, but I was able to just, go do stuff.
Oh yeah, that having it in May has its pluses and minuses. Having it in September has its pluses and minuses.
I think it's also because now you have to schedule around other skating events as well at the same time.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a busy. If you're, for us, the meets are coming up. Okay, there's a meet. I was talking to someone at the league meet, and they were like, well, how do you do this? I said, it's busy. I said, you have the meet in Roanoke this weekend coming up. Okay? You have the meet in Tampa the week after the week after that. Okay, we're probably going to go, for us, we're going to go up to Massachusetts probably in March.
April is Orlando. Land of Lincoln.
And then you got Atlanta Lincoln. Oh, there's also a meet the 6th. What's that? The Snake Pit? I just saw that today.
Yes, in March.
It's in March.
Snake Pit Showdown.
And then you have the American Championships in June. Now, for you, you're going to have to go to the World Games in July, and then we got like 3 days or something like that. And then we got to head out to Lincoln, Nebraska, and for indoor nationals. And then we get a little bit of time off. Then we got to go to trials in late August, early September. And then if that goes good, then we got to go to Worlds. That's a lot of time.
And hopefully.
That's a lot of money. And, it takes some planning. Also, some of the other things that the speaker committee talked about were international opportunities. They talked about Geisingen and some European events. So if you're ready for that, you might want to start looking at that.
And Geisingen's around April too.
Yeah, it's around the April time frame too.
I think that's actually going to be around the same time as Orlando. I may be completely wrong, but it's Geisingen. The way they do it before, it was, I think it was in Portugal, and then you went over to Germany, and then you had the track, and then there was a road portion of it as well.
Okay. Now, also, they have future discussions. The qualification system for the 2022 and future Worlds. They, in parentheses, 100-meter specialists, marathon specialists, and how many athletes to take.
8.
I totally agree. We should take the maximum amount.
And specialize.
And specialize. But it's good that they are listening and they're going to have that discussion.
I don't think it should just necessarily be like you have your marathon, your 100. I think it should also be like time trial. You have your time trial skaters versus your skaters that race in it. And then you have your points people and you have your limb people. And those two people that are in the middle are really, really good at the 1,000.
Well, also, they talked about, future, they're going to continue to talk about international opportunities. They want to update the officials' credentials and rebuild the outdoor international official presence. They discuss the direction.
We did not have a, what is that? Like a representative for the U.S. this year at Worlds.
Yeah. Discuss our direction in establishing subcommittees that we started Discuss our direction in establishing the subcommittees that we started on over the last few months. There was a proposal from the North Central region, but they decided to table that, and that's it. So what we want to do is bring up, what the organization is doing. Now, I would say when I'm a coach in both organizations, we had a coaches meeting. They call it a town hall. It's a little different where you're allowed to dial in, and the board actually wants to hear from the coaches directly.
Wait, what is this one again?
That was the one we had last week.
Oh, USRSS?
Yes, USRSS. That's a little different. That you call in and you basically, they have an agenda and they want to know what your input is. Mm-hmm. And they don't promise that they're going to do what you're going to say, but they will at least listen. It's a little different approach. I kind of like it. I'm good with either as long as my voice is heard.
Just in general, the skaters' voices are heard.
Yeah, the skaters' voices are heard.
The members
are heard. So they talked about, they spent a lot of time on the rookie program or what we call novice. And they spent a lot of time. I think it was almost like an hour and a half.
Well, it was, we were talking about rookie and then some other events on just how to make American Championships more exciting and for people to watch.
Yeah, it was, they talked about if we're going to have a flying 100, standing 100, rookie standard, what is it, what do we need to be? Is it 2 years, 3 years?
What's the definition for rookie?
Does it start when you sign up? Or are you just going to leave it back to the coaches? So I think that people are listening finally, and I see that as a positive because, I put in for the speed committee. Unfortunately, it was declined. So, maybe I haven't decided if I'll put it again. Maybe not. But that is how change happens in the sport. There are some other things. There's some financial committee meetings that you can look at your leisure. If you go to USA Roller Sports and you type in 990, in the search box, you can look up all the financials. A lot of people ask, where's the money going? What's going on here? It's very detailed. You can look up all the committee minutes from the board members. And there's some pretty interesting topics in there. There's one topic that to have each sport be its own 501 nonprofit and actually support itself. Again, I don't know if we're there yet because that is going to take someone with some financial expertise to make sure we don't spend too much money, and we don't go bankrupt. But there's some very interesting questions there and interesting strategies to move the sport forward. They talked about changing the the sanction fee to make it a little bit more attractive so more people will get sanctions, and I think that's a good idea also because if the sanction fee is attractive and it financially makes no sense to not have a sanction, I think you'll get more sanctions. I think the point is, I think it's too expensive right now. But if we drop that price where it's like, listen, for $50 or $75, I'm getting a sanction, so I'm covered. I don't have to worry about it. I cover the rink, I cover everybody else, cover all my referees. Everybody's covered. I know there was some talk also about memberships without insurance. I don't know where that went. I just was breezing through that. The compliance committee is working on updating the bylaws so that we can be in compliance with Safe Sport. There's a lot of work going on, but I think it's also your responsibility as a member to go out and just check it out every once in a while. Take some traffic to the USA Roller Sports website or the US RSS website and find out what's going on.
I think they updated it, so it's like for US RSS. I think I think they call it like American Roller Sports now. Like all the roller disciplines are on the website now.
I think they are. And this year, they're making a big rollout with artistic. I don't know that much about artistic. I do sit on the meetings because I do find it very interesting. The artistic side in both organizations, they have a lot of structure over there, and they have they have a scribe, they have a facilitator, they have a timekeeper. The meeting moves very quickly, and they get a lot done. So that's why I like to listen to it, because I think that we can learn in the other disciplines. We can learn. They seem to really, and they have a lot of people on those calls. And there's one on both sides, in both organizations, a person there. It keeps it moving, and they're not rude. They're not, they don't cut anybody off. They say,
y'all
you get your
talk
time
a lot,
to talk,
though.
and then you move on.
Y'all talk a lot, though.
Yeah, they do.
Like it's hard to get in to say something sometimes because y'all talk. Y'all have like a lot of good things to say, and then there's some things where it's like.
Well, don't you think if it was more accessible to talk, I think when you don't get a lot of time to talk, you want to get it all in. But if
yeah.
you're going to have, if you can get committed people that are going to meet, every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, and you can, I know for me on my job, we have a meeting, an hour meeting every week. So what we don't get done now, okay, we just table to next week. Now, if we were only having a meeting every 2 or 3 months, of course everybody's going to try to get their idea in because they've been thinking about it for a long time. So I think that, as this committee driven, this is different. Being committee driven is different. We're not used to this. I think that people are going to have to get used to working with other people, maybe working with people that they don't necessarily agree with. And I think that's a learning curve. And I think that once we get to that point, I think we'll be fine. Because it's not personal. I mean, we just want to be the best. We need to have accountability. And I think that what we're doing here is like everything that we brought up today is public. It's not my opinion. I mean, I can have an opinion on what I read, but it's not, it's public opinion. It's public. And we have responsibility as members to go out and find out what our organization is doing, and we have a responsibility to make people accountable, and people should not be offended by being made accountable. So that is, I think that's kind of what we wanted to talk about today. We got in all the meets that are coming, the invitations are coming up until about...
I think we're past August.
Yeah, August.
We're into September.
And we talked about the clinic. We talked about Meet in Virginia, the Snake Pit, the Atlanta Lincoln, Orlando, Tampa, all the claims.
American
Championships, indoor nationals, outdoor nationals, trials, world games. I think we got it all. So please let us know what you think. I know this one was probably, for some of you, they're just talking about changes.
I tried to keep it more interesting
Yes,
because even I sometimes I'm just staring because I understand some things, but it's just I let him handle those type of things, and I'm just the skater in that aspect. I do have my opinions on certain things, but other things like financial stuff, nope.
Well, I think also too when you go, well, Dad, why are they doing this? And I'll have to explain. Well, this is how they do. This is why this happens. And I think that's what people ask me all the time. I like delving into this stuff. I really, I just like looking, and that's how you get change. We can't just say, okay, we're going to change this. We have to have a plan going forward, both structurally and financially, so we can make this change happen. You just can't throw stuff up against the wall and hope it sticks. And, okay, we're going to just try this.
I know.
So this was we really got kind of deep into it. If you like it, let us know. If you didn't like it, please let us know that. And maybe we'll only do it every once in a while, and then we'll go back to something else. But please hit the comment section. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you want us to talk about going forward. And do you have anything else?
I just wanted to bring something up because a certain comment came to my attention. I guess it was commented a week or two ago. Most of you, I will put the comment here of what it was. I took more offense to it as not just necessarily myself, but how I fit into the comment in ways. For that, I was Blinky, he was Chewy. I'm just going to set the record straight is the matter of the fact. I have Tourette's. I've had it for as long as I can remember, since I was a kid.
Yeah, you had it, and then we thought you were going to outgrow it, and actually kind of went away, and then it came back.
It actually came back right before, I think, my first World Championships. And then I was actually diagnosed when I was 17 with it, which was my senior year of high school. I'm bringing this up because I was upset, number one, because they were, in a way, making fun of I don't want to say disability because I don't think of it as for myself a disability, but there are people out there, there's a whole community like this that have it a lot worse than I do. I have motor and vocal tics. My dad does not have Tourette's, but he has motor tics in ways, his chewing of the tongue. It's more of a nervous tic, I would call it in ways for him. But I, in the one way, wanted to talk about this, number one, because I always thought skating was a very, very safe environment. I never really had to hide it. That's why I didn't try to hide it on the show, because I didn't really think anybody would make fun of me for that, because a lot of people already know. And if you come up to me and ask me about it, I will be point blank with you. I was like, I have Tourette's. It's that simple with it. This comment made me kind of think I need to hide everything again. I can't be open. This isn't a safe environment, and I don't like that, and I don't want that to be happening in the sport in general. I'm not going to bring up the names. Like I said, I'm blurred out the name of the comment, but the people were involved all thought it was very, very funny. I don't think it's funny making somebody that has Tourette's. They could say they did not know. I still don't think it's right to make fun of somebody if you don't know the full story. And that is all I will really say on the subject, and I hope they understand what they were doing and are still doing, because it's not even just me. In general, it's a lot of negative stuff in ways, even to people I know, my friends, kids that I've known for years who now can beat me in a 3, 4, 5 lap race running those 8-second times. He knows who he is, because we always get back and forth in North Carolina. But yeah, that's all I have on that.
Yeah, it was, I had to, as a dad, I definitely had to kind of go away and count to 10. I thought it was very disrespectful, but people be who they are, and maybe they will learn from this and mature from this. So
mature.
Alrighty.
That's all we have.
That's
for
all
this
we
show.
have. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Next time I think we're gonna, just a preview for next time. Next time we're going to talk about training more, because I did get a message, kind of an anonymous message.
But they didn't tell you who they were.
No, they did not tell me who they were, and when I asked, they still didn't. But we're going to talk about training a little bit. Maybe some of the things I do. I'm not going to give all my secrets away, but some of the things that I do.
Oh, and just before Chris, that drill was the bomb.
Which one? Oh.
That was the bomb. I don't know where he comes up with this stuff, but
we have to send him our drill.
Which one?
The one where we catch the pack from
Oh,
the
yeah,
back,
yeah,
right.
yeah. He did say he wanted to see that. We got that one from Patty, I think, but then we kind of changed it up a little bit.
Yeah, Patty had it so the fastest person was in the front, and then the person like slowed down over time, and everybody got on. This time they're in the front, so they set the pace. So like I could do my pace, and then another kid will just go sprinting, which could be like just faster than my pace or something like that.
We tried that, so we kind of changed it up a little bit, but
maybe we'll go over some drills too. Help with
Maybe we'll have some videos by that time with some of the drills too.
Do some drills of learning how to lean over, getting on your edge, help build up confidence when you want to lean over in ways. I've seen some questions on that as well, on Inline Talk, actually.
All right, well, let's get out of here.
Okay.
'Cause you got to get back to school and homework and everything else. So, everybody, see you later.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment down below, and share this video, and tell us what you want us to talk about next.
Bye.
Bye.